Hi guys, it's Raquela, and I may not sound like it right now, but I am a professional singer. I just got over this cold, and when a singer comes over a cold, they lose their voice. And I've had a lot of my students ask me, why do I lose my voice after a cold? For those of you who don't know who I am, I've worked on Broadway for 18 years. I've studied opera, I've studied voice, and I've been a great lover for live performance. You'll see me often in San Francisco these days, performing with quite a few of my good friends. And sorry for the not being able to see my face right now, because I do not look good right now. There's a point in why I'm making this video, so I hope you'll take a little time to listen. I want to talk about a friend of mine. His name is Kyle Lundquist. He's a very vibrant, high-energy young man and has a lot to say and has a lot he wants to do in this world. And that's that, and ain't nobody gonna stop him. End of story. Unfortunately, he's one of those very, very rare human beings who was born with something called tracheal stenosis, or also known as laryngotracheal stenosis. It's very rare. You may hear words like dysphonia, and I learned a lot about this type of birth defect, if you will. Some people can end up with it through cancer or from smoking or whatnot, but it is very rare, and some humans are born with it. Kyle has never had a voice. And the reason why I'm doing this video right now is because right now I am experiencing dysphonia of the voice. It's where the two vocal cords, the two vocal cords in your voice are damaged, basically. Mine, in this case, are in the process of healing. Like, for instance, if you scratch yourself and it scabs over, it starts to itch a little bit, and it just looks kind of weird and starts crumpling up a little bit, you know, a scab, right? Well, that's what's happening to my voice right now. It's scabbing over, for lack of a better way of describing it. And it's very difficult to speak. Much more than that, it's difficult to sing. But I always wondered, what would it be like if I lived my entire life like this? And how difficult it would be. My voice is everything, as many of you already know. It is my life, my breath. It's how I express myself. Turns out almost every single human being on the planet Earth expresses themselves with their voice. Kyle never had a voice. However, he still has a lot to say. When Kyle was born, he was put under quite a few different surgical procedures to try and heal his voice. So here's the deal. He was born with a very enclosed trachea. So the passage area where your vocal cords are located at, just beneath your epiglottis, was so tiny, so small, that his vocal cords had to accommodate the space that his trachea was born with. And this was not natural. Number one. Number two, he couldn't breathe. This beautiful little baby born into the earth could not even breathe. So he had to undergo surgery. And this is back in the 80s, by the way. And surgery back then wasn't in its highest perfection. Plus, he's a baby. Okay. So they had to dig a hole, stick those pipes down his trachea, and all this stuff. And then, as a baby, he still had the pipes in his throat. Some infections took place, you know, and it was very difficult for him as a child. Whatever they did enlarge his trachea from what it was before to what it's supposed to be. And in order to do that, they had to take the vocal cords that he was born with, which were too small, and then they had to enlarge them and accommodate his new regular size opening of his trachea, his breathing passage. I looked at his vocal cords. His left vocal fold is another word for vocal cord, but his left vocal fold is smaller than his right vocal fold. This is not normal. This isn't natural. So this poor kid was doomed to sound hoarse for the rest of his life.
My name is Kyle Lundquist, and learning how to socialize with my peers. And since I only had one friend at the time, me trying to make another friend didn't always go well, because I would used to always talk to that person all the time. We would talk on walkie-talkies all the time.
I am not aware of any such thing where people can donate their vocal folds to somebody. and then it could be replaced. I've never heard of anything like that before. I don't know why it has not been looked into. So at this point in time, Kyle Lundquist is without a voice. He can speak just a little bit. The way you hear me speaking to you, actually I'm speaking a lot better than he could speak.
Got a job. I'm finishing my schooling, but I can't seem to make any friends because I get too clingy. But over time I figured out that with help with others, my grandmother took me in and raised me along with my aunt and uncle. They are the best. I love them very dearly.
I would have a lot more trouble finding work in many kinds of careers. People are going to want somebody who could talk when you don't have a voice. I've learned after meeting Kyle, it is difficult. Kyle is resilient, and for some reason, it doesn't matter. He continues to find ways to move mountains regardless of the fact that he cannot be heard. I could say this because I was born with a voice, but as I'm sitting here recording this video, I don't think I could ever get through my life if my voice was taken away from me. Kyle has been a great inspiration to me lately, and I want to give him voice therapy. After studying his medical reports, and I've seen video of his voice, I know that there are things I can do as a vocal therapist to help him bring out even more out of his voice carefully. He's still in his early 20s. So there's still a lot of room for development. He has a lot of bad habits that he's learned with his vowels and his consonants. He already knows a lot about his voice medically, but when it comes to using what he's got left, he doesn't know anything. And I know because of my training in college that I got a lot of great ideas that could help him bring out his voice, but most importantly, allow him not to harm what he's got left. That is the most important thing. He's in his early 20s. He could live until he's 80. And if that is so, he could lose his voice completely to the point where he may have to replace it with a robotic dilly boobs. I don't know what they're called. It's more important to me to help save his voice, what he has left. But here's the problem. He doesn't have a driver's license. He doesn't have a car. He is unable to get to me. I'm unable to get to him. I teach privately out of my home. It's a private business of my own. I teach voice to wannabe singers and some who are singers out of my home, so I'm unable to leave my house during the work week. I teach Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays between 12 to 7 p.m. If he took the bus, believe it or not, and we've already looked into it 5-6 times, it would take him 3.5 hours to get to me. And I don't want to put him through that. That's not fair to him. If there is at all somebody out there who may have a suggestion, may have a great idea, or somebody who would like to commit themselves to picking him up once a week, bring him to my house, and they would have to wait an hour because my sessions are an hour long, and then take him back home. I, and most importantly, Kyle, would be so grateful. So if you're out there somewhere watching this video and would like to do this, I would appreciate it. And I am not going to get paid 1 red cent for any of this. Unless a grant comes up or some kind of a medical coverage can cover this, that's fine. But I will not take 1 dime from Kyle. He deserves so much in life for as much as I've seen him do as a volunteer in the Sacramento community. I've been more than impressed. This kid cares about his community. He's getting ready to go to college and get more education. He wants to be a great part of this society than anyone could imagine. I love this guy. He's a good kid. I need him to get to my house now. With your help, if you're watching this right now, you have no idea what you would be doing for your community. Thank you for watching this. I do not wish this on anybody. I can't wait to get my voice back. Oh, this is so awful.